CX Day is a time for CX professionals to come together. It's a day to celebrate our success, to share in our resilience.
It's a chance for us to talk about our biggest accomplishments and learn from the hard-fought victories of our peers.
CX Day gives us another opportunity to honor our team members.
And it keeps us connected to the global conversation about customer experience.
CX Day is also a day to celebrate our customers, the people for whom we do all this work.
Wherever they are in the world, whatever job they do, whatever challenges they face.
They deserve excellence from us.
Let today inspire your CX vision.
Renew your sense of purpose and propel you deeper into your CX journey.
As the strongest independent association for customer experience professionals, Cxpa will be with you at every step.
Celebrating the strength that comes from diversity.
Championing the work that improves people's lives.
And advancing CX together.
Hey everyone, happy CX Day.
Happy CX Day from Orange County, California.
Happy CX Day from Nashville, Tennessee. We made it. We made it to CX Day 2020. Thank goodness.
If there was ever a year we needed to celebrate, it's this year. And there's no better way to do that than on CX Day 2020.
Happy CX Day from Melbourne, Australia.
Happy CX Day.
Wishing you a happy CX Day from the very heart of St. Petersburg.
Happy CX Day 2020 from Queensland, Australia.
From Oakville, Ontario, Canada, happy CX Day.
We are celebrating the customer's voice and we are fronting the CX agenda. Happy CX Day, everybody.
Namaste from Mumbai, India.
I'd like to celebrate the efforts of all CX people all over the world. Happy CX Day from Lagos.
Happy CX Day from Australia.
Happy CX Day to all of you from Untitled Germany here.
Happy World CX Day, everybody.
Happy CX Day from Dubai, United Arab Emirates.
Happy World CX Day.
Happy CX Day from Amman, Jordan.
Happy World CX Day.
Happy CX Day to all my favorite CX professionals. You guys inspire me each and every day.
Happy CX Day from Northern Idaho.
We wish you all a happy CX Day.
Happy CX Day, everybody. We are so glad that you are here with us today to celebrate this incredibly special day for CX professionals around the globe. I'm Gabe Smith, CCXP. I am your host for this live stream event to unveil the 2020 CXPA Impact Award winners. So we're going to do that here in just a second. But wanted to share a little bit about the history and the purpose of CXPA's Impact Awards, our 8th annual Impact Awards. So these awards were really created to honor those who are making a difference in their organization's customers. So honoring those who are making that quantifiable impact, who are really utilizing and honoring CXPA's competency framework, those 6 competencies to drive meaningful change, better customer experience, and improved business results across their organization. So the Impact Award is one of 2 CXPA sponsored awards, along with the Innovation Award, which really looks at an organization and how they have implemented innovative practices to improve CX. So the Impact Awards is more about the individual. The Innovation Award is more about the organization. So coming soon, and I'll have a little bit more information at the conclusion of this call, so you want to stick around, we'll be debuting a new award called the CXPA's Emerging Leader Award that will really recognize those who younger or professionals, or those who are new to the field, I should say, who are really making a difference So more to come on that. So next, I wanted to introduce our judges, and I'll bring them into the stream momentarily. If you couldn't be here today, we've got a really amazing global group of judges across different time zones. So we've got some folks who are joining us late at night, middle of the night, where they are. But first, we've got Chantel Botha, CCXP. She's the Managing Director of Brand Love Customer Experience. We have Faraz Mahassan, CCXP, the Senior Manager of Customer Experience Management at Boubion Bank. We have William Mulhern, CCXP, Customer Experience Manager of Cisco, based in Brussels. We have Spiros Malonas, CCXP, founder of Krateon Consulting in Greece. We have Farhan Niaz, the founder of CX Future in the UAE. And last but not least, we have Ian Stokel, CCXP Senior CX Manager at Monash University in Australia. So thank you to all the judges, and let's get right to it. Here are the finalists for the 2020 Impact Awards. We've got Steve Bieri, Client Experience Advocate at IBM. We have John Georgeson, Senior Director, VOC Analytics and Data Science at Concentrix. Carly Myers, Head of Global Customer Support at eNet International. Dilyana Pavlova, CCXP, CX and NPS Global Program Manager at Abbott Diagnostics. Serena Riley, CCXP, Director of Customer Experience at Lamasoft. Russ Shield, VP, Single Family at Fannie Mae. Emmanuel Scala, SVP, Customer Success at Toast. And Roxy Strominger, CCXP, Vice President, Customer Experience Strategy at UKG. So, before we reveal the winners of this year's Impact Award, just wanted to extend on behalf of CXPA, as well as the judges for this year's award, our congratulations. This was such an extremely competitive process. I mean, the judges indicated to me that choosing winners for this year's award was extremely difficult because good problem to have, because so many of these professionals are out there really doing the hard and important work of aligning their organization to deliver better customer outcomes. So congratulations to all of these finalists. So with that being said, let's take a look at a special video that where we were able to surprise some of our Impact Award winners.
What? No way! Oh my gosh, wow, that's, thank you.
Yeah, you're kid. Come on, man. Is this like on a video, I'm getting pumped.
It's seriously, it's huge, because I've always deemed, CXPA sets the standard. And it's like that, it's the benchmark. It's what you aspire to be that CX professional.
For me, it's not just me, it's my team. I mean, first and foremost, you don't do this alone. It's validation of the work and the time and energy spent on thinking about the customer. Ultimately, we spend a lot of time worrying about the experience and how you make it better. And it's validation that people recognize it and that it's special and worth doing.
I feel like I should be holding the little thing here and say, first of all, I have to thank my team. Seriously though, this is so incredible, and I'm thrilled that among so many amazing professionals that I could even be considered a finalist, but let alone to be one of the winners.
But everybody that does this every day, you become client advocacy. You're like on our team, right? and make that a way of life as soon as you wake up. And that's really what we're going to try to accelerate next year too, and really drive that even deeper than what we've already done.
Yeah, my main message is keep at it. It pays off, and keep focusing on the customer, and ultimately it works for your business. If you focus on the customer and the experience you create, you will win. It might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but eventually you'll win if you keep focusing on those principles.
Happy CX Day. Take stock in the goodness that you've been doing over the course of the year and will continue to do into 2021.
From all of your fellow client advocacy folks at IBM, and to all those around the world that client advocacy is such a significant part of your life, happy CX Day.
Those that are, pushing the boulder up the hill, the mountain, realizing that there is a summit, and getting there by continuing to push and challenge the boundaries of what we've been given to do. Happy CX Day to all of the customers that we serve, to our employees who serve our customers, and happy CX Day to the grand, leadership groups that are willing to take a chance and understand that CX is not just a team, but an essential piece to your strategy and business.
That is so awesome. Gives me goosebumps watching that. Congratulations to all of the Impact Award winners. We're going to talk a little bit more about sort of what distinguished those folks that you just saw in that video. So I want to bring in, if we could go ahead to our next slide and talk about our first winner, Steve Bieri. So I want to bring in Farhan Niaz. Hey, Farhan, welcome.
Hi, Gabe. How are you?
Doing great. Good afternoon. I should say good evening.
Yeah, good evening here. Almost 8 p.m. here.
Well, Farhan, it's fantastic to see you, and I'm so glad that we get a chance to chat about Steve Bieri a little bit, because I know that you felt strongly about Steve's work, as did the other judges. So hoping you can tell me a little bit about what distinguished Steve for you in terms of the work that he was able to accomplish this past year.
Yeah, first of all, happy CX Day to everyone. And thank you very much for the lovely introduction as well. Congratulations to all the winners, not just Steve, but all the winners. They're remarkable. They've done a wonderful job. But specifically to Steve, when I was talking to him, it was very inspirational. When you talk to this person and you realize that over a period of good 40 years that he's been into customer experience, such a passion, what experience it brings with number of years behind you. From an organization perspective, if I may, they run client advocacy for IBM for the entire ecosystem. And it's very remarkable how they started from just 10, 20 surveys and moved on to 20,000 responses coming in, and how they analyze those responses and what kind of tools Steve and his team utilizes to segregate the data using the AI. And in fact, they're using robotic systems and robots as well, because this is such a huge data. They utilize data to segregate it according to different processes and according to the different segments of the journey, and understand the data. And then not only just to understand, because there are positive sentiments, there are negative sentiments. You need to listen to the sentiments and then segregate what the organization really requires and utilize it for the benefit of the organization and improve the processes along the way. They have over 700 alert owners, which is a huge team, and to run such a huge team and achieve what they've done. And I was asking Steve about the achievements, and he said over the period of last just 2 years, their NPS has actually improved by 50%. He wouldn't give me the actual number, obviously, not the real number, but that's good enough. That's quite a substantial improvement from 50% NPS jump in just 2 years, and multiple other indicators tell you how well they've done. One thing I have to mention, and Steve actually very proudly stood up and showed his chest to me, and I was saying, what am I looking at? And there's a t-shirt he's wearing, a very nice t-shirt. It says, the score takes care of itself. And please, if Steve is listening to me, and if he's going to listen to me, my t-shirt size is medium, so he needs to send one to me. It really looks good. So that's what they've done according to the organization. Great enthusiasm, a lot of experience, a lot of focus. The way they have involved everybody in the organization, top to bottom, is lovely. The interaction is amazing.
Yeah, no, I love the t-shirt. The score takes care of itself. And funnily enough, when I shared with Steve the news that he was a winner of this year's Impact Award, you may have seen in the video, he's wearing a Cincinnati Reds sweatshirt, and he had a Cincinnati Reds picture on the wall behind him. And he said he felt like it was going to be a great omen for his Reds in the playoffs, that they were going to win because, you know, he'd won this award. And, you know, Steve, if you're listening, I'm sorry that the Reds got swept, but I hope that doesn't diminish your accomplishment in any way. So, and Farhan, I was struck too in talking with Steve that, you know, he really was very quick to deflect. All of our winners were really quick to deflect the praise of, you know, winning this award and say that they felt, you know, that it was really a team award. Was that your sense also?
It's unbelievable. I mean, I come across, honestly, you and I, we've talked to many people. I've interviewed quite a few, and over, you know, my humble 25 years of experience, I have talked to a lot of experienced executives. The humbleness and the love and passion I saw in his voice and his, you know, body language for his team. The moment I asked him, you know, what have you done? This is about you. So how would you explain? He said, no, it's not about me. It's about the team, because I have an amazing team and they're the ones who do everything. I utilize their strengths. I'm just a humble, you know, a coach who takes care of and the unbelievable team. He was constantly using the word unbelievable, talented. And I specifically remember when I asked him a question, okay, in the end, you know, one of the questions, what are you most proud of? And the answer I got was, you know, this is where people start bragging about themselves. Well, this is a direct question. This is about you. What have you done? And he said, Farhan, in the 40 years that I've been, first of all, the most important thing, this is the most fun that I'm having in my life. Yeah. In 40 years, this is one job where I am having so much excitement. I feel that this is the best part of my 40 years of career. And secondly, he said, you know where I get my achievement from? When I see my team getting the reward and recognition. So whatever reward and recognition they get, that's my achievement.
Yeah.
I could not get a single word out of him about him. And that speaks a lot. That speaks a lot. The person he is.
Absolutely. Well,
results show.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to Steve as well as to his team at IBM. Great accomplishment. Farhan, thanks for your words. We'll bring you back here in a second to come back into the stream, but I want to go on and speak a little bit about our next Impact Award winner, Serena Riley, CCXP, the Director of Customer Experience at Amasoft. And so to talk a little bit more about Serena's winning entry, wanted to bring in William Mulhern, CCXP. William is the Customer Experience Manager at Cisco, joining us from the Brussels area. Hey, William, how are you?
Doing great, Gabe. Happy CX Day.
Happy CX Day to you as well. So tell me a little bit about Serena Riley. What, in your estimation, what made Serena really stand out in terms of her nomination?
So there's a few things that really stood out when we met with Serena. I think a couple of things. First of all, she started out from basically from nowhere only a few years ago. Had been working in the area from an operational customer service type point of view, and had really started focusing on customer experience. What really stood out was around the focus of looking at the disciplines and looking at how her and the team could really push forward on those disciplines on a kind of a structured way each year. So they looked at what could they really do this year to push forward. what I really liked in terms of the interaction was and I guess Serena will recognize this, was never being satisfied with where things were, and it was always this idea of pushing forward. And so everything that was done, and there were some really significant achievements that I'll talk about in a second, but it was really the idea that we're just scratching the surface. We've got so much more to do. There's all these other things that we really want to do. I really felt that kind of lack of feeling, we've been there and done it, and the feel of really we need to get out there and go do it. So that was really came across really strong. And so a couple of the things that the team has been doing, and Serena also was very much talking about the team, was taking some very practical business problems, looking at them from the customer side, using voice of customer data, using operational data, and really tackling a problem that customers were repeatedly telling them were an issue, and we all know in our own businesses what that's like. And getting the buy-in internally to create the team and to actually go after what was actually a difficult problem of bringing down multiple different websites that the customers had to tackle and find their way and navigate through, bringing those down to one or a couple that could be manageable. This is something that had been out there for a long time, so this is not a new problem. It's a recent problem that had been there for a while and difficult to resolve. The teamwork that was involved in doing that, collaboration across the entire business, but then, of course, because it's CX Day, very important, also engaging with customers in terms of pilots, in terms of co-design, to engage with them on actually making those changes. And then there were a couple of little things that the team was doing to try and to change in terms of the culture and the awareness inside the organization. And I thought those were really good too. And using getting people inside the business actually go through that process and live the experience of trying to find their way through those websites, going through that immersion, that was really interesting. And also a little bit of a fun twist where they did some gamification and some game shows and things to try and bring a little bit of fun to it and also get the word out to the team more broadly. So there were loads of things that came out of that conversation with Serena and the discussions that we had. So absolute congratulations to her, and indeed to all the finalists that went through this year. It was really tough.
Yeah. No, I mean, I know, and one of the things I was struck by speaking with Serena when she, I said, what do you think about all this? And she again also deflected, said, it's my team. I have a wonderful team, but she also thanked, the senior leaders of the organization for really believing in customer experience, understanding its relationship to business results, and that, like as she said in the video, it's not just a team. It's part and parcel of the strategy of your organization. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and I think in just leading on from there, I mean, there was also an example where, so she has this, historic achievement of getting this very significant internal work done. What I thought was really interesting, you talked about that engagement with senior leadership, is actually the engagement on trying to tackle the big problem that's very front and center for any kind of software company around retention. Looking at that, she talked about the data analysis that they're doing and the engagement they have with the senior leaders to actually start going after that. And I think that's exactly the kind of thing that the profession needs, to link it very much to what makes sense to the business, but also solves problem for customers. So
yeah,
I thought that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. William, thank you. We'll bring it back here in just a second. Talk a little bit more, but want to bring in go to our next Impact Award winner, Russ Shield. And before we do that, I see some of the comments are coming in on social media, getting a lot of congratulations to all of the winners, and some happy CX Day wishes as well. So definitely let us know what you're doing right now, where you're watching from. Would love to hear from you on social media. So next, I want to bring in Ian Stokel, CCXP. Ian is joining us from Australia. Should I say good morning, good evening, Ian? What time is it right now?
About 20 past 3 in the morning. I'm coming to you from the future.
Ian, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being up in the middle of the night. I hope you're caffeinated. I know you're always ready to go. So tell me a little bit about Russ Shield. I know you had a chance to interview Russ. So tell me a little bit about Russ and what made Russ an Impact Award winner this year.
Well, I think like the other judges, the big standout with all the nominees and the winners was the humility and the fact that they defer to their team so much. I mean, I think one of the things that we learn as CX professionals is how impossible it is to do on your own. The whole point of it is to bring an organization together, and all these nominees, as well as the winners, are in very large and complex organizations where trying to do things as an individual or as a team is impossible without having the people skills, those high-touch people skills to engage with the right people and have the ability to solve wicked problems that come about in complex organizations with complex organizational issues. And that was really the standout when talking to Russ, was just the way he brings that humility and that his ability to engage people with the biggest challenges that Fannie Mae faced. The projects are very cross-functional in nature. The problems that turn up across different silos and boundaries, and he literally is the glue. He and his team are literally the glue that brings their organization together. And I think for all the competencies and his capabilities across the 6 competencies of CX, we just don't talk about those people skills, those engagement skills nearly enough. We talk about design skills, having voice of customer skills, metrics, and all of those things that are taught in the CX profession. But those people skills about how to talk to people, how to get them engaged, how to show their work in your work is something that isn't really explored. And Russ embodied that absolutely, completely from head to foot. He gets people to work together to solve issues and not make it about themselves. He solves problems where there's resource availabilities, and he's already established things like having a lean, agile management approach to resolve some of the resourcing and timing conflicts that exist within a large organization with a lot of projects on the go. And he focuses also on establishing structure and accountability to establish a delivery cadence, to get the right outcomes with the right measurements in place. And the thing that stood out for me when I was talking to Russ is 2 quotes that I had to write down. One is, if I have an insight and do nothing with it, what's the point?
Mm.
And something else he said further into our conversation, the best experience is when you don't have to call for help in the first place.
Right. Yeah. I love that. And I mean, I think, those people skills that you talked about and those ability to align people cross-functionally, they're important for all CX professionals. But I think you hit on it when you said, especially for an organization that has the breadth and the scope of a Fannie Mae, even more critical.
Yes, and I think one of the most impressive things about Russ is every finalist, every nomination that I saw and interviewed, all had a story about the pandemic. And I know it's in our face, and when you talk about present focus bias, everybody's talking about what we're doing in the pandemic. But Russ's story bridged years of activity. And whilst Fannie Mae and his team had to pivot during this pandemic, didn't in any way detract from the fact that there are many years and foundational years that he's put into building the CX practice at Fannie Mae.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations to you, Russ, and to your team at Fannie Mae. Ian, I want to stay with you as we talk about our final Impact Award winner. So bring her up on the screen. Roxy Strominger, CCXP. Roxy is the VP of Customer Experience Strategy at UKG. So, Ian, I know that you were so impressed, as were all the judges, with Roxy. So tell me about Roxy Strominger and why she is a recipient of the 2020 Impact Award.
Well, Roxy, she just not only submitted an outstanding and almost flawless presentation, she just embodies her mastery of the CX competency framework, and absolutely drives such a passionate impact for her organization. I absolutely fell in love with her CX tipping points and You Speak displays. They were her unique creative touch in engaging with her senior leadership and her stakeholders to make CX more relevant and relatable to them. And there was a lot of strong physical evidence in her communication about how her program is directly contributing and benefiting organizational outcomes. She brings a lot of focus, and her focus is really strong on prioritization. I mean, one of my favorite sayings from a book I read recently is, don't be distracted by the tyranny of secondary goals. Beware of the, and you can hear when Roxy talks as she focuses on the key things that are going to impact customers, and she doesn't get distracted by those secondary goals. She is so clear, so articulate, and so confident about what she's trying to do without losing that flexibility and adaptability that is so necessary in being a CX leader.
Yeah. Also, really impressed. I know, Roxy, from moving to a client role to a client side role to internal practitioner role, really expressed that she wanted to have, she wanted to really be able to take the insights and move the needle in an organization. And it certainly seems that she's been able to do that at UKG.
Absolutely. And I think, even though Roxy has that foundation, that strong foundation on focusing on the diagnostics of data and correlating the insights to the organizational care-abouts, she more importantly has the focus on monitoring change to ensure improvement decisions have been correctly chosen and implemented. And I really loved her quote where she said, "We're not just the survey people," shifting the thinking from score chasing to finding out why. And it's having that deep intimacy with the data that doesn't come from just looking at numbers, but understanding what those numbers mean.
Yeah, absolutely. Congratulations, Roxy, as well as your team at UKG. Well deserved. I want to bring in the other judges back to the stream, Farhan and William as well. Just as we wind down this program and as you reflect on this experience and reviewing and getting to know these finalists as well as the winners, what have you learned? So Farhan, I want to start with you here. What struck you this year in your experience as a judge?
I think it was a great experience talking to different nominees and different people, and each one has a personality. So when you talk to somebody and you realize there is no one single formula, you can learn. And I learn every time I talk to someone. When you talk to these professionals, you realize that everyone in their own capacity is doing something which is amazing. It works for their environment, probably doesn't work in another environment, but they understand their role, they understand and they're doing a great job. Anyone who can bring change into the organization, positive change, make the customers happy, a lot of focus on employees, that makes me very happy, because I've always been a big advocate, especially in these times of transformation, when everything is going digital. Organizations are losing focus towards the people. But if you look at all of them, and this is, I respect what Ian has said, and William has also mentioned about the winners, each winner has specifically thanked their people, has said that this is because of their people. So the focus of the people is so important, and this balance of the new technology and between people is so important. The empathy part of it, I think that would take CX to the next level.
Yeah, great insights, Farhan. Thank you. William, how about you? What did you learn from this process?
I mean, first of all, it was an absolute privilege to be part of the judging panel. I mean, it was great to have the opportunity to listen to all the different nominees. I mean, obviously, we had to go through all the nominees, so that was fantastic. The diversity of situations in which people are applying CX, this is for me the big thing. The diversity in how it was being applied in different places and different kinds of businesses, the relevance of CX to every kind of environment. I think that was really the big takeaway. Obviously, when we're all doing our job, we're very focused in our own area, and we probably lose a little bit sight of the breadth of application. And so for me, I was really encouraged by the diversity of both people participating, but also the environments that they're in, and how CX gets applied to those different places.
Yeah, I totally agree. The diversity across industry, across geography. I mean, it was really inspiring. Absolutely. Ian, how about you? What did you learn through this process?
Well, I think you said it in the beginning, Gabe, how tough it was to choose winners out of the finalists and even out of the nominees. There were some incredible nominations, and the finalists were so difficult to choose from because the level of competency, the level of articulation, the level of passion and dedication is extraordinary. And I think anybody who's worked in the CX profession for a little while realizes this is not something easy to do. We use the pithy term of orchestrating customer experiences, but orchestration is like in music is not something easy. Getting everyone to sing from the same hymn sheet is quite difficult. And it's a bit like you putting on the Bolshoi ballet, but it turns out to be a rave party. Things get a little bit crazy. So getting everyone to play nicely together consistently so customers aren't confused is an incredible thing to do day in and day out. And the dedication, the level of commitment that these leaders have, the respect and care they have for their team, that have to go into that battle every day. And it's not a battle of resistance and nobody gets up to work, gets up in the morning and goes to work wanting to screw up. But getting people to work together and focus and coordinate goes against every primitive part of our brain that wants to just be, take things easy. It takes concentration, it takes effort on a daily basis. That's an enormous feat. And to William's point, to Farhan's point, to not only do that yourself, but to inspire a team to do that on a day in and day on a daily basis across all these different industries with so many complex stakeholders and moving parts is an absolutely extraordinary thing.
Well said, Ian. Well, thank you, Ian, William, Farhan. I know will join me in offering our final congratulations to our 2020 Impact Award winners, Steve Bieri, Russ Shield, Serena Riley, CCXP, and Roxy Strominger, CCXP. So I hope that you will join us for the other great programming that we have happening on CX Day. You can visit cxday.org to view the full lineup. But at the beginning of our program, I promised a tease of our upcoming Emerging Leader Award that is going to open nominations very soon. So want to take us out with a sneak peek of the CXPA Emerging Leader Award. Have a happy CX Day, everyone. Hope it's wonderful. Hope it's fulfilling. It's a chance to celebrate your accomplishments, to celebrate your customers, to celebrate your teams. On behalf of CXPA, have a wonderful day.
Hello, CXPA community. I'm Desiree Madison Biggs, former chair of our association's board and current member. Over the course of this year, a small team of us have been in the process of creating a new program to expand our ability to recognize and develop outstanding talent in the customer experience field. I'm delighted to announce the Customer Experience Emerging Leader Award program. This program is intended to identify, recognize, and support the professional development of practitioners who are new and are viewed as tomorrow's leaders based on what they're accomplishing today. Why this new program? Because building our community and enabling a strong and thriving discipline is an important focus for us as an association. We currently are able to recognize and reward individuals for innovation and impact, which tend to go to senior or experienced members of the community. What's unique about this award program is that it will be much more than recognition. There will be a developmental component designed to nurture and support these high-achieving individuals as they continue on their CX journey. So who is an emerging leader? Well, you know who these individuals are. You may even be one yourself. An emerging leader is defined as an individual who is new to CX, desires a career in the field, and is growing skills in the profession. The 5 winners of this award are up-and-coming individuals who are creating better customer experiences for their organizations through new and innovative approaches, methods, and design thinking processes. They're impacting their organizations by leading the initiative or work streams within it, or by bringing proven innovation that solves a problem for their business or for benefits for the overall CX community. These individuals are the hidden gems within our profession that quietly go about their work and produce outstanding results for their brands and customers. So how will these emerging leaders be recognized? Well, first, they're on a CX path because they are a natural, and they're often found advocating for beneficial change for their customers' experiences. Second, they're learning about and are passionate about the practice. Third, they're active in the CXPA community, building their skills, knowledge, and competencies, and working towards CCXP certification. Finally, within their organizations, they have made contributions both tangible and intangible that provide demonstrable and/or measurable impact. So stay tuned for more information on how to apply through the CXPA website, and good luck.